Welcome everybody to the strange and scary mysteries of the month, where we find you the craziest tales from all around the world currently going down, lay them out for you to wrap your head around. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here are the strange and scary mysteries of the month for May 2024. Number 5, a tragic surfing getaway. In late April, 30-year-old Jake Robinson from Australia, his brother, 33-year-old Callum, who was living in San Diego, and 30-year-old Jack Robe planned a fun surfing trip together. They set out on the excursion from Southern California, headed towards the Mexican coast just south of Ensenada. Their destination was All Saints Bay, just a 2-hour drive away, which promised some awesome waves and picturesque landscapes. It was the trip of a lifetime for Jake, who was excited to take a short break before starting the next chapter in his life as a doctor back in Australia. His brother had moved to the U.S. to chase his dreams of becoming a professional lacrosse player, and Jack, their American friend, who was engaged to be married this summer, shared in their passion for surfing, which had brought the trio together for what was meant to be a memorable expedition. While their adventure began with high spirits, it took a dark turn when they failed to return to their booked accommodations in Rosarito. There was no word from them to any other friends or family members, and none of them had posted anything on social media, which was a red flag. Their disappearance, which occurred on April 27th, prompted a desperate search, spearheaded by Deborah Robinson, the brother's mother, who took to Facebook to appeal for any information on their whereabouts. It would take over a month, but on May 3rd, the search culminated in a gruesome discovery when authorities located the bodies of the 3 men at the bottom of a 50-foot well in a desolate area of Santo Tomas, Baja California, about an hour south of where they were surfing. According to the FBI in San Diego and local officials, each man had suffered several gunshot wounds. And as to why they were killed, it appears as though it was over something as trivial as a set of tires. The chief state prosecutor of Baja California, Maria Ramirez, said at a press conference that the motive behind the murders appeared to be theft, specifically targeting the truck owned by the surfers for its tires. The confrontation likely escalated when the men stumbled upon the thieves attempting to steal their vehicle. This incident has not only left 3 families grieving, but has reignited the broader conversation about the safety of tourists in Baja California, which is well known as one of Mexico's most violent regions. Authorities already have several suspects under questioning while actively searching the crime scene for further evidence, though, as of the making of this, no one has been formally charged. The deaths of Jake, Callum, and Jack show the serious consequences of what can happen when popular places with high crime rates goes unchecked. In mourning the loss of the 3 men, several paddle-out ceremonies occurred throughout the world. A paddle-out is a traditional surfer's tribute, where the participants form a circle on their boards out at sea to honor those who have passed. Number 4, the strange disappearance of Anna Knezevich. The disappearance of Anna Knezevich from her Madrid apartment has unfolded into an international mystery, and it's one that involves deceit, cross-continental moves, and sophisticated attempts to mislead investigators. At the heart of this case is David Knezevich, a Florida businessman who stands accused of orchestrating his estranged wife's kidnapping. On February 2nd of this year, critical day for the investigation, security footage captured a masked man they believed to be David, spray painting the security camera lens outside Anna's apartment. And this little act of vandalism just so happened to be timed just before Anna's disappearance, and so it was strategically aimed at obscuring the view of her or anyone else entering or exiting her place. Earlier that day, this same man was seen purchasing the exact brand of spray paint used in the act, as well as duct tape. It was all caught on security footage from a local store in Madrid. David's defense ultimately hinges on his alibi. He claims to have been in Serbia, some 1,800 miles away, when his wife vanished. However, the evidence contradicts this idea entirely. 4 days before Anna went missing, David did rent a car in Belgrade in Serbia, but shortly after that, a local reported his license plates had been stolen. The same plates that were later detected by a license plate reader on the exact street where Anna lived. Further implicating him, the car with the stolen plates was recorded at a Madrid toll booth on the night Anna disappeared. The tinted windows of the vehicle, though, prevented a positive identification of the driver. Further investigation into the rented vehicle revealed suspicious modifications upon its return. And those tinted windows were not how they sent that car out, meaning the renter, David in this case, did it himself. It had also been driven nearly 4,800 miles, an unusually long distance for such a short rental period. As a reminder, Madrid is about an 1,800-mile drive from Belgrade. The backdrop to this entire case is the messy divorce between Anna and David, described by Anna's brother as simply nasty. And the couple, both naturalized Americans with substantial assets in Florida, were entangled in financial disputes exacerbated by the foreclosure of one of their properties. This financial angle certainly provides a potential motive. One of the most damning pieces of evidence involves a text message sent from Anna's phone after her disappearance. And this text was intended to mislead Anna's friends into believing she had met someone new and was temporarily unreachable. But the friends who received it, familiar with her typical communication style, immediately found the message suspicious, and they're the ones who alerted authorities. David was recently arrested in Miami after all the evidence was stacked up against him. His upcoming bail hearing will have prosecutors aiming to prove that behind the facade of a business owner lies a man capable of orchestrating his wife's disappearance. And meanwhile, those close to Anna hold out a sliver of hope for her safe return. But as of right now, she is still officially missing. Number 3. The curious case of Shelby Hewitt. And just like Benjamin Button, Shelby Hewitt is someone who also ages backwards. Only her story isn't a script from a fictional movie. Shelby was doing it in real life over in Boston, Massachusetts. Recently, it was discovered that 32-year-old Shelby Hewitt, former state social worker, had successfully infiltrated 3 Boston public schools by forging documents and adopting false identities like Ellie and Daniela. She enrolled at English High School, Jeremiah E. Burke High School, and Brighton High School during the 2022-23 school year. Her deceit was sophisticated, involving not just forged paperwork, but also constructing believable student personas that enabled her to blend in seamlessly with actual students. She acted as though she were a traumatized high schooler, which allowed her to remain shy and possibly act strange, which was really used to cover up who she really was. And she pushed the envelope too. This was no 17 or 18-year-old she was pretending to be. And she took it all the way, going as far as claiming she was just 13 years old. She managed to keep a full-time job all while doing this. She used her resources with her state job to be able to even act as a therapist for herself, sending emails to school counselors talking about her emotional issues and how both her parents were deceased. Acting as Ellie, she wore fake braces, was even bullied by students for appearing to be in her 30s. But impressively, this allowed her to gain sympathy from teachers and counselors, allowing her to continue on with the lies. She played hoops for her high school and blended in as best she could, but the ruse was eventually uncovered when school administrators detected discrepancies in the enrollment forms during a routine check. It was a critical typo, It referred to the Department of Children Rind Families instead of and families, which prompted a verification call to the real Massachusetts Department of Children and Families. It was discovered that no social worker under the name listed on Hewitt's forms was associated with the department, leading to a deeper investigation and subsequent police involvement. Shelby Hewitt was charged with 3 counts of forgery, 2 counts of false writing, and 1 count of identity fraud, presented before the West Roxbury Division Boston Municipal Court. And as the case unfolds in the judicial system, it reflects the severe legal repercussions of such fraudulent activities. While her true motive behind doing this is yet to be revealed, and this incident significantly troubled the local community, who wondered how this was able to happen, and it left parents anxious about the safety and integrity of the school environment. Janelle Lamons, a 15-year-old student who frequently interacted with Hewitt, recounted various instances that now seemed questionable in hindsight. Hewitt's behavior ranged from sharing meals in the school library to exhibiting emotional outbursts after reprimands from teachers. And these interactions, while seemingly benign at the time, highlight the complex psychological dynamics at play here and the potential serious risks involved in letting a grown, mentally ill woman play dress-up with a bunch of children. Number 2, the mysterious fall. In beautiful San Clemente, California, 45-year-old Suzanne Sills and her husband, 58-year-old Dr. Eric Scott Sills, seemed to be living the perfect life. Their successful careers, beautiful home, and wonderful family portrayed an enviable picture. But what you see on the outside isn't always reality. And the truth was, this family was headed down a dark path that Susan would never return from. Dr. Sills, a prominent fertility doctor in the area, and his wife were well regarded in the community. Together, they ran a clinic helping countless individuals achieve their dreams of parenthood. November 13th of 2016 was when everything changed, though, as that morning, Eric discovered Suzanne's lifeless body at the bottom of their large staircase. His frantic call to 911 conveyed urgency, yet was eerily composed. "We've got a patient here who's fallen off the stairs and I don't have a pulse," he told the operator, suggesting she might have tripped in the dark. However, the scene didn't sit right with the authorities, who suspected foul play almost immediately. As investigators came in, the good doctor's crocodile tears were sensed by them. They searched the house for more clues. Bloodstains on a curtain and a clump of Suzanne's hair in their daughter's bedroom then hinted at a struggle. The doctor claimed she had been sleeping in that room because she wasn't feeling well, but being sick doesn't mean you bleed for no reason and your hair falls out in chunks. Digging deeper, they then retrieved text messages from Suzanne's phone sent to her husband. They revealed a woman desperate to escape an oppressive relationship. One message reading, "I will never be free, ever. You are killing me, don't you see? I just want out." Even their son Eric's initially corroborative testimony about overhearing an argument the night before, which he later recanted, seemed to align with the evidence collected. It took a couple of years to gather all that evidence, but eventually Dr. Sills was put on trial. The prosecution painted a picture of a man who was controlling and unable to cope with his failing marriage. An ongoing issue between the couple was of a topless photo Suzanne had posted online after losing a bet. It drove the doctor crazy that it was out there in the world. In order to gain control back, he eventually ended his wife's life, a theory supported by the forensic pathologist's conclusion that Suzanne died from strangulation. The defense posited bizarre theories, including an accidental strangulation by one of the family's dogs. Ultimately, the jury sided with the prosecution and convicted Eric of murder. His facade of a doting husband and successful doctor crumbled under the weight of his actions, and recently, in March of 2024, he was sentenced to 15 years to life. Number 1. the boy in the chimney mystery. The grim discovery of Joshua Maddox remains in Woodland Park, Colorado, closed a 7-year-long mystery, but opened a whole new chapter filled with strange questions. Joshua, an 18-year-old known for his bright intellect and musical talent, vanished in May of 2008 under circumstances that did not immediately suggest foul play. He was there 1 minute and gone the next. His disappearance then prompted a local search, but that turned up no leads whatsoever. Authorities didn't suspect a runaway case due to his stable family life and because he was doing well in school. However, his older brother's unliving of himself 2 years prior had deeply affected Joshua, casting a shadow of doubt over the whole situation. On the day he disappeared, everything seemed ordinary until he never returned home. That mystery only grew deeper when exhaustive searches by the police and his family, spanning several years, yielded no clues. The turning point came unexpectedly in August of 2015 when a demolition crew began tearing down an old cabin on Thunderhead Ranch. While pulling apart the old home, which had stood vacant for over a decade, they stumbled upon skeletal remains lodged within the chimney. The body, found in a disturbing state with the knees above the head and legs dislodged from the torso, suggested a desperate attempt to enter the chimney from the roof. But a heavy piece of furniture blocked the fireplace at the bottom, eliminating the possibility of entering it from there. These were the remains of Josh, and it painted a grim picture of his final moments. As it appeared, he was trying to gain entry at the site, which was less than a mile from his family's home, when he got stuck in there upside down. However, not everybody believes that this was a tragic accident. The Teller County coroner, Al Bourne, faced the grim task of identifying the remains through dental records, confirming it was indeed Joshua Maddox. The autopsy concluded an accidental death with no signs of trauma, supporting the theory that Joshua had attempted to enter the cabin through the chimney, tragically leading to his demise. The exact time, though, and manner of death remains inconclusive. In other words, they don't really know what happened. But here's the strange part. Josh was found wearing nothing but a thermal shirt. His pants, underwear, even his shoes were discovered beside the fireplace. And this means that either he had been in the cabin and stripped down to nothing but a shirt and then climbed the roof to go down the chimney for some reason, or there were other people there, others that may have caused his death. There was, of course, no way to tell for sure what had happened after 7 years, and any evidence that might have been there was washed away with time. Thunderhead Ranch, with its colorful history of illegal activities and wild parties, adds a layer of intrigue to the tragic story. Did something happen that others perhaps know about who have just decided to keep their mouths shut or even moved far away at this point? The discovery of the remains at least brought about some closure to his family, who had never ceased in their quest to find him. They had hoped he was out there somewhere, playing his music and enjoying life. His father Mike and sisters Kate and Ruth shared heartfelt memories of a life cut tragically short. They described Joshua as a kind and talented individual, forever marked by the loss of his brother. The family's profound grief was matched only by their gratitude for the resolution, allowing them to finally honor Joshua with a proper memorial. So there were the strange and scary mysteries of the month for May 2024. If you enjoyed this, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you can know when we're putting out our new content. It's 3 new episodes every single week. Thanks so much for stopping by. You guys watch your backs out there. I'll see you in the next one.